In today's lesson, you'll be using this worksheet titled Understanding Powers of 10. Make sure that it is the one that starts with the question, what is 10 written as a power of 10? If it says something else here, you need to look for a different page that says this, because there's two that look similar. Let's read the directions. Use the place value chart to solve the problems below. The first problem is, what is 10 written as a power of 10? So, we know that 10, if we fill in our place value chart, here's our decimal. 1 is here, 10 is here, 100 is here, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million. Make sure if I'm writing it in that you are writing it in also. Pause the video if you need to. So when we're doing powers of 10, we know that 10 times 1 is 10. So since we're looking for our answer 10, we know 10 times 1 is 10. But in this part, we are looking for what 1,000 is. And 1,000 is right here. So let's keep going. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times what is 100? 10 times 10 is 100. And 1,000 is 10 times 10 times 10. So 1,000 written as a power of 10, 10 times 10 times 10, is the same as 10 to the 1, 2, 3, third power. So what is 1,000 written as a power of 10? It is 10 to the third. All right. What is 100,000? 100,000. Well, we can see 100,000 is right here. So we need to keep going. 10 times 1, 10 times 10, 10 times 10 times 10. And then here we'll do 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. There's 4 tens there. And then in 100,000 we'll do 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. How many tens are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 10 to the fifth. So what is 100,000 written as a power of 10? 10 to the fifth. Oops, I skipped the first problem, silly me. What is 10 written as a power of 10? So here's our 10. 10 written as a power of 10 is 10 to the first power, because 10 times 1 is 10. So there's only 1 10 in our equation. So I will write 10 to the first. All right, now let's move on to our next problem. What number is 10 times the value of 5 in 502 and 61 hundredths? So again, I'm going to use my place value chart. So what is 10 times? We know when we see 10 times that we can always solve that on our place value chart, because we learned that if we go from the ones to the tens, that is times 10. And from the tens to the hundreds, that is times 10. So what number is 10 times the value of 5? So in this number, we are looking at the 5. So let's write this number, 502. So we have a 5 in the hundreds, a 0 in the tens, a 2 in the ones. Then we have our decimal, and a 6 in the tenths, and a 1 in the hundredths. We are looking at the 5 though, which is right here. We want to take 10 times the value of 5. So we're going to take 5 and we are going to move it times 10. Times 10. If I take it times 10, I will now have a 5 in the thousands. And this 5 in the thousands column has a value of 5,000. So I'm going to say 5,000. The value is 5,000. Now let's read the next problem. What number is 100 times the value of 6 in 502 and 61 hundredths? So now we have 100 times the value of the 6. So let's look at the 6. And we are going to take it 100 times. So if we go over one place, that's times 10. But we need to go over 2 places to be times 100. Make sure you're writing down what I'm writing down. So now this 6 will have moved to the tens place. So instead of being 6 tenths, it is now 6 tens. And 6 tens is the same as 60. The next problem. What number is 10 times the value of 1 in 502 and 61 hundredths? So now we are looking at the 1, and we are going to take it times 10. So here is the 1, and we need to take it times 10. Times 10 is just moving to the left 1 column times 10. So now, instead of it being 1/100th, it's now 1/10. And down here, we will write 1/10. You can either write it like this, 1/10, or we can write it like as a decimal, 1/10. All right, the next problem. What number is 100 times the value of 2 in 502 and 61 hundredths? So now we're looking at the 2. So I'm going to circle the 2, and I'm going to take it times 100. So if I go over one spot, that's times 10. And if I go over 2 spots, that's times 100. So now my 2 is in the hundreds column, which means it has a value of 200. All right, let's look at the next problem. What number is 10 times the value of 6 in 469 and 18 hundredths? So this is a new number. So what do we need to do with our new number? We need to write it in our place value chart. And I think it's important to make sure you put your decimal here. So what number is 10 times? We're doing 10 times the value of 6. So let's look at the 6, and we are going to take it 10 times. So we know 10 times is moving over 1 column. So we know that our 6 is now in the hundreds column. So the 6 in the hundreds column has a value of 600. What number is 100 times the value of 6 in 469 and 1800s? So we are still looking at the 6, but this time we are going to take it times 100. So if we go over 1 time, that's times 10. And if we go over 2 times, that's times 100. So now the 6 is in the thousands place. So this 6 has a value of 6,000. And the last question for this page is, what number is 10 times the value of 1 in 469 and 1800s? So we're going to look at the 1, which is right here, and we're going to take it 10 times itself, which will move us over 1 column, and the 1 will now be in the ones place. So instead of 1/10, it is now equal to 1/1, or just straight up 1. Now you will be doing this page, which is almost the same, but if you look closely at the numbers, they are different. So you'll be doing this page on your own. If you need help, go back and review the video to see how I did it, then try and take these numbers and do it on this place value chart. If you need more space, draw your own place value chart.